Let me see. And then that night, I went to bed. And then in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, I woke up to many, many, many text messages, phone calls, all that type of stuff, the phone exploding. Top and bottom of it is apparently Dana White went on Fox, in Australia and announced that my fight with GSP is off and that I'm facing Yoel Romero. And everyone's trying to get me to comment on it. And I'm like, well, honestly, it's news to me. I haven't heard anything about it. So, I reached out to George and he said, well, he hasn't heard anything official either. And I haven't heard anything from the UFC or Dana White. I know that a lot of people are complaining about this potential delay with George. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, I was just watching a video of Luke Rockhold just a minute ago on the MMA Hour yesterday, whining like a little bitch, just going on to, it's ridiculous. I'm not going to fight if I'm not going to get a title shot. It's like, dude, you just got knocked out in the first round and you haven't fought for about a year. So rather than bitch about me, maybe get back into the octagon. So, because you're not going to get a title fight anyway. You don't deserve a title fight. You just got knocked out first round. And there's a few other people making those kinds of claims. But, so to clarify, as of right now, no official word from the UFC. I haven't heard anything. George is still hoping for it. I'm still hoping for it. I mean, I'll say this. I was offered the fight twice. I was offered the fight in October and it never materialized. I was offered the fight in January or February and it did materialize. And we had a press conference and we shook hands and we stood there in Las Vegas and we talked a bit of shit. So, okay, I haven't had a bout agreement through, but that is the plan. That was the offer, and I accepted. And, I kind of feel that once a deal is made, then, we should stick to it. That's how I feel.
Is there a part of you that, because we had Mickey Gall on the Countdown filling in for you this past week, is there part of you that because this was his theory, that feels like maybe Dana and the UFC are kind of just, putting the pressure on George to kind of get him to make a move because he's the one who's kind of stalling this fight?
Yeah, I don't know, but I'll say this. I mean, maybe they are, maybe they're not. Maybe, maybe they need an active champion to fight sooner. I think that's probably the top of it. I honestly don't think they're trying to put pressure on George. I think they need title fights on the pay-per-views, which I understand. I understand their frustrations from their side, just like a lot of the middleweight division are kind of frustrated. They need good title fights on their pay-per-views, and waiting until November is a significant delay, so I understand that. But, as I said, we did have a deal, so, I mean, I'll get to speak with the UFC and find out what's happening. I have been involved in some stuff in England, and I'll be home very, very soon, and I can't wait. And I guess, I'll talk to my manager, speak with the UFC, and we'll figure out what's going on. But I will say this, and I've said it before, it's a blessing in disguise because I can't fight anytime soon. I can't exercise at all at the moment. I can't train. My knee is giving me many, many problems. It was doing it in Thailand. It's still getting no better. I haven't trained since I've been in London because I've been busy most days. I've flirted with some weights in the hotel gym, which is not very good, shall we say, be polite. I haven't trained and it just isn't getting better. The back of my knee is incredibly tight. I can't actually straighten my left leg. There's quite a pronounced bend in it. And I think that's because all the tendons and ligaments and muscles are super tight. And that's why I can't straighten it. And my surgeon did say a while ago, you need to work on stretching that. But it's just kind of got, accentuated, if you will. And it's super tight. I can't even walk for like 5 minutes. So I need to get back and start getting some treatment on that. So long story short, what I'm getting at is I'm not going to be ready to fight anytime soon anyway. So, again, that's another reason why this plays, into the perfect scenario for me.
Yeah, well, and we did kind of discuss it pretty extensively last week. You said, you were open to the idea of them doing an interim between Anderson Silva and Yoel Romero. So, I mean, I guess that's technically always an option. But Luke Rockhold's the guy who's kind of making the most noise, and you said that earlier. Dana White actually put Luke Rockhold on blast. I sent you a link. I don't know if you actually watched it, but during the press conference after UFC 211, he was like, he goes, I don't want to misquote him, but he basically said Luke Rockhold needs to shut up and fight because he got knocked the fuck out in the first round by Michael Bisping. And it was just like a little glorious moment. I know you had to relish in that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, if you're an active middleweight, let's say you're Robert Whittaker or you're Gegard Mousasi, or even Yoel for that matter, you know, I could understand saying, what the hell's going on? Come on, I want my shot at the belt or whatever. Luke Rockhold, though, has no grounds to say anything. He really doesn't. You know, I mean, listen, it seems like I'm always trying to take a dump on Luke Rockhold, but that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just stating the facts. You know, he fought about just under a year ago. He got knocked out in the first round, and he hasn't done shit since. You know, so he has got no grounds to talk. Some people have, to be honest. You know, Yoel's been there for a bit now. You know, I understand that, and Robert Whittaker, pardon me, is there, and Gegard as well. But you know, I've got a fight booked, and until I hear any differently from an official source, I'm expecting to fight GSP.
All right. There it is. There it is, guys. Next week, hopefully, we'll have more news. And I'm going to be in LA next week with you. We're going to do a couple shows together, right?
Oh, perfect. What is it? What are we doing?
We're doing a couple.
Countdown Live. Countdown Live in person. I almost said Fighter and the Kids. What the hell am I doing? Countdown Live in person. I can't wait, Lewis. I'm very excited.
Countdown and Believe You May. We'll do a bunch of them next week when I'm in LA. So, look, obviously, big news this weekend, UFC 211. Did you get to watch it live?
Okay, so here's the problem. I am in England, and the fights are, I don't know, it's like 4 a.m. here. So, no, I didn't get to watch it. I wish I did. I heard the fights were incredible. I heard there's some fantastic performances, lots of big news. But that's also another sidebar. I mean, the sport is growing massively in England. Just, you know, I mean, I've even noticed over the last 6 months, this time since I've been back, you know, without sounding arrogant, the amount of recognition that I get now, you know, literally everywhere I go, people are like, oh shit, Bisping, you know, which kind of gets annoying because you're just going about your daily business and you're stressing out, but, you know, people are coming over and they're being cool, they just want to get a picture or whatever. But that is significantly increased, which is great. That means the UFC is on the rise. But it's still hard. It's still effort to be a UFC fan in the UK. It's not as publicized as what it is certainly in the USA. Of course, the time difference is very hard. They do repeat it on a Sunday night where it's at a decent time for the spectator. But still, sports are designed and are much, much by far at their best when they are watched live.
Well, that's one of the... Good. So I was going to say that's one of the things about sports that they're holding on to, you know, almost like a stronghold on entertainment. Because in every other medium, you know, people just want to like stack up episodes of Game of Thrones or their favorite Netflix show. But sports, you still need that live aspect. And that's like you know, to be honest with you, that's the only thing that you really need television for anymore is live sports.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, as you said, you know, you can go on Netflix and watch this and that. You can stack it up. You can binge watch, whatever they call it. But with sports, it's got to be live. I mean, anytime you watch something, I mean, we've all done it. We've all recorded a fight and gone back and watched it and tried to stay off the internet so you didn't find out the results and things like that. That's how it used to be in the UK. If you didn't stay up late to watch it the next day, you'd spend all day trying to stay off social media so you could get the replay in the evening. And, of course, some dickhead would put something on there so, you know, you'd find out the results. But it's just not the same. Yeah, okay, you enjoy it, but there's no anticipation. There's no excitement. Sports are designed to be watched live, and that's where the real beauty and benefit of it comes in. Now, don't get me wrong. As I say, the UK UFC team do a great job, and as I said before, the popularity and recognition of the sport is growing all the time. But it is still difficult. I mean, that's why I didn't see any of UFC 211 over the weekend. Now, of course, being an avid fan, you know, I've done my homework. I went straight to the websites the next day and checked them out and saw what's what. And looks like I missed a great card. Did you watch, Lewis?
Oh, yeah. Watched live. Took the night off. You know, and I do stand-up. You understand, comedians in New York City, we make most of our money on the weekends. So for me to take a night off to watch UFC, okay, I'm not only spending $55 on the card, but I'm also, you know, taking off $400 or $500 in spots just to stay in and watch the fights. It's a very serious commitment as a stand-up comedian that's working to go and watch a UFC fight card. So this one in particular, I took off. It was fucking incredible. And you're talking about the UFC experience. So let me tell you why it's one of the best sports in the world. Whether you see it live in person, you're watching it on TV, you're watching it at a bar, you're watching it with your friends. They create this package. And you know, we run the Gas Digital Network, and I'm so conscious of graphics and things like that right now. And I'm watching this package for the UFC, and everything comes together so beautifully. All the little side graphics and the octagon spinning around, you don't even notice it. To the naked eye, people don't even see it.